Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome back to a new YouTube video. Hope you guys are all doing well. Today we got a pretty fun one for you. I'm actually heading now to pick up one of my really good friends, Jake Chamsidine. Really good friend of mine from back in the Pacific Northwest days. If you guys have been following me for any amount of time, you might remember that I grew up in Seattle. And I have a lot of really good friends up there, a lot of which I don't get to see as much as I would like. But what's pretty cool is my friend Jake is actually looking to move down to LA, and him and his fiance are down here now for the next couple weeks. So we're trying to hang out as much as we can. So I'm gonna go pick him up and show him some of my favorite spots in Malibu, which should be a blast of an evening. I have a couple cameras with me. I couldn't really decide what I wanted to bring, so I kind of just brought everything. I have my Contax T3, I have the Mamiya 7 II, and the GFX 100S. And the Mamiya is probably gonna get some use tonight just because I got it back from the repair shop about a week ago, and I've been really itching to shoot some 120 film, so I brought along some Portra 800 and some Portra 400. So I'm excited to hopefully shoot some rolls of film and potentially shoot some on the GFX as well. We'll see what's up when we get there, but I might shoot the Mamiya, I might shoot the GFX, I might shoot both. We'll see how it goes, but nonetheless, should be a beautiful night, and let's go ahead and pick up Jake. Hey everyone, what's going on? So we've made it to Malibu now, picked up Jake on the way, and he really hasn't seen a lot of these places that I come to quite often in Malibu, so I wanted to take the opportunity tonight to show him around a little bit, give him a little bit of a SoCal treatment. He's going to be moving here probably by the end of the year, so I want to show him kind of what Malibu is all about. This is a place where I come obviously pretty frequently to shoot photos, and it's been several months since I've come out here and taken some landscape photos just for fun. So I thought it'd be the perfect opportunity to make a video and bring you guys along, obviously. So I brought two cameras with me today, the Mamiya 7 II right here, which obviously is tried and true. One of my favorite cameras probably ever. And I haven't been able to shoot with this guy in a while. It's been at the doctor's office. It's been getting repaired for the last several months by this wonderful guy, Bill Rogers, over in Vegas. If you guys ever need a Mamiya repair guy, he's definitely your go-to. But needless to say, very excited to have this guy back. It's been a while since I've really taken it out and put it through its paces. I brought it on a trip to Tahoe for the 4th of July a couple weeks ago, but I didn't really end up shooting too much. So this, I'm hoping tonight will be kind of my first inaugural experience with the camera since having it back. A new rangefinder was put in, so it's a pretty brand new camera right now as it stands, and I'm very excited to have it back. I have also brought along my GFX 100S with me, and I wanted to kind of do a little bit of side-by-side and just shoot both cameras today, see what we can get. I think there's so much debate and so much talk whether, digital cameras are better, film cameras are better. And in my opinion, the best camera is truly the one that you have with you. I don't think it matters at all what medium you shoot it on. A good photo is a good photo. And also, just because you shot it on film does not mean it's a great photo, and vice versa. So I wanted to talk a little bit about today which camera is useful in which scenarios. And for me, for the most part, film is something that is just a joy to shoot, and the medium is fun to shoot on. The Mamiya 7 for me really, I think, is a step above pretty much any other film camera out there with how it reads light, color, and honestly the quality of every scan that I've gotten. Obviously, this depends on which scanner you're using, but overall, the scans that I get from this camera are pretty fucking incredible. They are about as good as it gets, in my opinion. And so when I'm shooting a landscape or when I'm shooting travel photography, and that is just for me personally, I will pretty much always pick up this camera. I know film is expensive, and film is a little bit more difficult to shoot now than it used to be in recent years, but this camera will always be by my side, and it is one that I just feel like is such a extension of me as an artist. So when I load it up with some film and bring it along on a trip like today, this camera really is the perfect camera, I think, for the job. Now, when I'm shooting on a digital camera versus the film camera, sometimes I just don't want to spend the money. Sometimes I think it'll do a better job. Sometimes I think I can be much more accurate and precise. I really think it does depend on what you're looking to shoot and how you want to be going about shooting it. If I'm shooting anything for work, unfortunately, this guy just doesn't really make it around very often. But even if I'm shooting a more, fast-paced portrait shoot, for example, or some sort of personal project where I want to be able to see things as I'm shooting them, again, it doesn't really matter what medium you're shooting on, whether it's film, whether it's digital. I don't think that's really up for debate, in my opinion. A good photo is really a good photo. It's just that, a good photo can be shot on any camera. It can be shot on an iPhone. It can be shot on a point and shoot. And for me, I've always wanted to keep that approach as best as I can, because I really don't think it matters that much what camera you're shooting on or what medium. If it was shot on film, great. If you like the photo, great. It doesn't really matter what camera that is necessarily that you're shooting that on. But with that being said, I think it's much more about the experience for me, how it feels to shoot on each medium and each camera. That's the big distinction for me, and that's why I gravitate towards one or the other in each specific scenario. Hey everyone, so back home at the office, and I had a few more thoughts that I wanted to kind of close this video out with. The idea of shooting film and digital, as I mentioned earlier in this video, for me, it just comes down to the overall experience a lot of the time. In the past, I would say if I didn't have to use a specific camera for work or rely on something entirely for a specific shoot, I would definitely gravitate towards film. But I think now, over the last year, maybe year and a half, especially since shooting the GFX system mainly, has really kind of changed my outlook on not only how much better film looks, but how you can actually emulate a lot of this with digital cameras. And I'm not saying it's a one-to-one comparison whatsoever. And as I mentioned previously in this video, it doesn't really matter what camera you're shooting on. All I'm saying for me is I've found, a pretty nice replacement for shelling out hundreds, if not thousands of dollars every month or every year on film scans, film processing, buying film. It's just gotten really expensive, and the reality of it is I don't get to shoot it as much as I would like to anymore. I'm always going to keep my Mamiya 7 II. It truly is one of the best cameras I've ever used so far on this photography journey. But having cameras like the GFX, the X-T5 really make the digital shooting experience very fun, and I am also extremely happy with all the results that I'm getting. Now, something that I'm hoping that you're going to be able to take out of this video is it really does not matter what camera you're shooting on. What matters so much more is stuff like how you read light, how you expose, how you work with a subject, how you incorporate the environment into your photograph. Stuff like that is really imperative to a good photo, and it could not matter less what camera that is shot on. A good photo truly is that, a good photo. And I'm hoping that what you got from this video is that whether you have a film camera, whether you have a digital camera, whether you have both, the idea still is the same. Get out there as much as you can, shoot photos regularly, really try to improve shoot after shoot, and focus on the things that you really like to be shooting. Now, all in all, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know down in the comments if you have any questions regarding film or digital or what cameras I'm using. I try to keep you guys pretty appraised of what I'm shooting, and honestly, things haven't really changed too much besides the addition of the XT5. Now, with all that being said, I did want to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, which is Squarespace, for sponsoring today's episode. Squarespace obviously has been a long-time supporter of this YouTube channel, and I can't thank them enough for their continued support of me making these YouTube videos and just trying out new creative things. I've been using them now as my main website provider for almost my entire photography career, and truly I don't think there's an easier way to build a website out there, especially if you're creative looking to display your work or share different projects or keep your website updated with e-commerce products or whatever that might be. Squarespace really has all the tools on the design side and also on the layout side, all the different kinds of options that you can plug and play into your website that really kind of fit pretty much any sort of modern day creative workflow. If you guys want to check out Squarespace for yourself, there'll be a link down in the description to receive 10% off your first website or domain purchase. Thank you so much to Squarespace as always for sponsoring this video, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.